Thank you for joining me in the show. We'll give it a couple of minutes and then we'll jump straight into the live stream. Just want to do a sound check for me. Just drop a 1 in the chat section just to let me know that you can hear me all loud and clear. And we'll get into things in a minute. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. And thank you for joining me in the first live stream of 2026 here at the Mr. Freemason channel. And I'm your host, Mr. Freemason. We'll give it a couple of seconds and then I will jump straight into the live. I'll give you a rundown of what we're covering today. And we'll wait for a few more people to join us. So today is Sunday, the 11th of January, 2026. It gives us an 11-day, which is a Grand Master number day. It's got quite a few things to run over as it's only the beginning of the year, so to speak, 2026. As most of us do know here at the channel, the first day of the official year is actually April the 1st, which is where the name for April's Fool comes from. So we'll give it a couple of seconds and then I'll run down some of the topics of what we're going to cover. As always here at the Mr. Freemason channel, we like to discover numerology, astrology, occults, rituals, and also hidden knowledge. So the numbers that you'll find that tend to come up in a regular pattern, and I've also chucked in number 1 because this is starting to come up a bit more frequently with regards to events. So they are 3, 6, 9, 11, 13, 19, 22, 23, and last of all, the number 33. Now, I state these numbers because these come up quite regularly in crime cases, things to do within the news, accidents, and also to do with certain things revolving around rituals. So like I said, if you can hear me all clearly, just drop a 1 down in the chat section and we'll jump straight into the live stream. As always, we like to do a roll call here. So if you'd like to let us know in the chat section where you're all listening from across the world, and I'll run down the topics of what we're going to cover in the live stream today. So we'll be taking a look at the Swiss ski accident that happened. We'll be taking a look at Anthony Joshua, President Majaro, Freemasons in the police, the snake year that's now going to go into the horse year, and also looking at the royal family and the consequences of what 2026 holds for them. What I will do in the next live as well is cover other celebrities and well-known figures who 2026 will affect, and to keep an eye out for in the news and the mainstream media with regards to things that are happening for them. So we covered in the last year with regards to Logan Paul, who had a lawsuit against him, against the drinks company Prime, He's obviously born under pig energy, which was the enemy sign of the snake, which we're about to come out of. That changes over on February the 16th this year. And we'll be going from the snake year into the year of the horse. So it's the enemy sign for people born under the rat energy. And as we progress and go further on into the live, I'll show you how the energies work with each other and against each other, and give you a couple of other examples with regards to people born under certain animal energies and how it affects them, really. So we'll look at some of the ones that have happened in history with regards to celebrities who've now passed, and how it kind of relates and corresponds to the same as what's going to happen this year. So today's, like I said, Sunday the 11th of January 2026. It gives us an 11-day, if we add the numbers up together, which is the day of the month itself, and also the year. Now this year is 2026, which gives us 2 + 2 = 4, plus the 6, which gives us the number 10. Now, there's no such number as 10 in numerology, as zeros don't carry any energy at all, so we drop them. Therefore, that means that the year 2026 is actually a 1 year, and it falls under 1 energy. That such energy relates to words that begin with the first letter of the alphabet, as the first letter of the alphabet is also the first letter. And these are things such as accidents, assassinations, assaults, and so on. So what we'll do now is we'll get into the video, and we'll start digressing and breaking down into numerology and decoding exactly what's been going on for us in the big wide world. Okay, so firstly we had King Charles, who gave his Christmas speech. The first thing I'd like you to notice and pay attention to is the black and white checkered floorboard that he stood on, which resembles and is exactly the same as the Masonic chessboard in Freemasonry, with the black and white squares and the 2 pillars either side. Now, in this actual full frame of this photo, there were actually 2 Christmas trees either side of King Charles, which represented the 2 pillars in Freemasonry. So although there was no 2 pillars either side, the Christmas trees actually represented the pillars, and obviously the checkered white floorboard represented and speaks for itself. And there's going to be quite a few things happen for the royal family this year, and I'll explain to you exactly why and what to pay attention to. Now, there was a news article that came out 2 days ago with regards to Prince William actually taking the throne a lot quicker than they expect to take over from King Charles. The reason they say that is they're unsure about King Charles's health now starting to deteriorate even more, which will coincide with his energy this year. King Charles is born under rat energy, which is the opposite sign to the horse, which is this year, coming into February on the 16th, 2026. What that means for King Charles is that he's going to take a hit this year. And my prediction would be for King Charles and this year is that we see the passing of King Charles. Now, there was speak last year with regards to Prince Harry, who mentioned that he didn't know how long his father had. And that will kind of coincide and wrap up with regards to what's going to happen this year. When we take a look at Prince Harry and Prince William as well, later on down in the live stream, you'll kind of understand and see where I'm going with this kind of topic. So, as we know, Prince William and Princess Kate Middleton, they were both born in 1982, which is the year of the dog, and it was actually the year of the dragon that year, which was not last year but the year before. Now, what went wrong for Kate Middleton was she was diagnosed with cancer that year. Now, there's also King Charles, who was also diagnosed with cancer that year as well. And the thing to pay attention to is their names. Now, Catherine begins with C and Charles begins with C. And also the word cancer begins with C. So there you would have your 2 C letters, which represent the numbers 33. Catherine with cancer and Charles with cancer. which gives you your 33s each. Now, Prince William is also an 11 life path, and so is his father, Charles, which means that they're master numbers of the leader, which kind of coincides with their role in the royal family. There's obviously Prince William is the successor to King Charles. Also, coming out of the year of the snake is known about beginning and endings of cycles, shedding its skin. So we could maybe see a changeover before it gets to February the 16th this year. And like I've stated, King Charles is born under energy of the rat, and this year is coming into the year of the horse. Horses are known for hard workers, which is where the word and the saying comes from, a workhorse. So if you're born in a horse year and you're born on a 4-day or a 4 life path, you will find you will have to be one of the most hardworking people that there is to get things done and achieve what you want to achieve. It's just unfortunately those are the sorts of energies that apply to people that have to work hard. Now what we're going to do is turn our attention to 2026, and we're going to start with January the 1st. Now, those of you who've been with us at the channel here for quite a while, you'll know the live stream that we did last year with regards to January the 1st and also February the 1st. First, we'll start with January the 1st last year. So it would have been the 1st of the 1st. I know it seems only like yesterday that it happened, but it is actually over a year ago now, and that was when the American Airlines plane was crashed into by the helicopter in Washington, I believe it was, when it fell into the lake. That actually happened on the 1st of January, and we did a decoding on that with numerology, and we matched up that the first letter of the alphabet is A, and obviously it happened with American Airlines. So that's your first day of the month, and obviously your first month. So there was your 2 double ones, so to speak. So that was the American Airlines plane crash that went down. So there was an accident that happened on that day last year, exactly the same as this year. There was also the accident on February the 1st last year, which was to do with the Indian plane crash. So yet again, another accident and another airline, both starting with the word, or the first letter A, sorry, and obviously the first letter of the alphabet being A, which is how they kind of match up. This is also going to tie into another accident that happened this day, but we'll deal with the Swiss ski resort first. So if we take a look at the word Swiss and also the word ski, they both begin with the letter S. Now, the 19th letter of the alphabet is S. So if we take the 1 and the 9 and we add them together, they actually give us a number 10. So that would be 2 number 10s, but obviously we don't carry the zeros, so we would drop the zeros. Therefore, the first S would give you the number 1, and the second S would also give you a number 1. So there's another 1 for you, which happened on a 1 day, which was the first day of the first month. I believe also there was 100 people injured and 1 person lost their life, which would give you the number 100 and then also the number 1, which is actually the key code for the Illuminati. So it's just an interesting fact for you to bear in mind. Like I said, they do these things in numerological order, and they do tie them up to regards to words and also spelling, which is where the word spelling comes from. And why you'll find the English language is on every signboard in every single country of the world, when no other language is. So anyway, moving further on, like I said, first letter of the alphabet is A, stands for accident, airline, attack. Also, Donald Trump, I believe, was attacked on a 1 day as well. So obviously that would match up to do with that, as the first letter A stands for assassination. So what you'll tend to find with regards to lots of these accidents or catastrophes that are in the public eye, The first thing that I would do, as always, bearing in mind that Freemasonry and numerology are very closely linked, what you'll find also on these days of attacks is the first thing I will go and do is go see if it is a religious holiday. Obviously not a Christian or Catholic holiday, but different type of religion, which tends to fall on specific days of when these accidents happen. So it would have been New Year's Day, so to speak, which would have been the 1st of January. Now, that's actually classed as a holiday as such for a different type of religion, but it's not one that they celebrate with joy. It's probably one that they'd like to kind of ruin or destroy, so to speak. But you kind of had to do a bit more of your own homework into that one, and you'll find out for yourself exactly why they don't like that day. So then we're going to turn our attention to Anthony Joshua. I believe it was on the 1st of January that he had his car accident. So yet again, another accident, first letter A, happened on a one day. Anthony Joshua's name is also Anthony, begins with A, first letter A. So there's another accident for you. Anthony Joshua's name begins with A, which is the first letter, and it's the same situation as what we had with the Swiss ski accident or attack, the way you'd like to kind of describe it. They will do things on certain days and take certain people out of positions of power, if not just completely, to kind of fall in with regards to rituals on them days. What I will try and look at, and I might be able to get for you, is the ritual calendar of when certain things have to fall on certain days with regards to numerology and also rituals in Freemasonry. So there's also the controversial fight that Anthony Joshua had with Jake Paul. And we'll take a look at Jake Paul as well with regards to his symbolism. Like many of these people, such as Anthony Joshua and people of status and celebrity, you don't get to this status and this level unless you join these people. Now, Anthony Joshua said it was his 33 million people tuned in, wasn't it, the viewers? And obviously a 33 degree of Freemasonry. You can also see a bit of gematria, which is down the left-hand side bottom of the corner. Gematria is not obviously something that we touch on here, but there are many other channels on YouTube if you want to go check them out. So yeah, there was the 33 million global viewers, and obviously the Freemason hand gesture done by Anthony Joshua. And as in the words of William Shakespeare, the world is a stage. Like I said at the beginning, with regards to the numbers that I've mentioned, 3, 6, 9, 11, 13, 19, 22, 23, and 33. Here's an example of a news article that came out on the 23rd of December. So you'll see how they'll do certain news articles on maybe the 19th or the 23rd. An example of this was Jay Slater, who went missing in Tenerife. He was aged 19. He got his body, I believe, was found on the 23rd of July or August, it might have been. You have to double check with that. Nicola Bully, who went missing, number 23, was on the back of the bench. She got found on the 19th of February. Also with the letter M correlates to the number of the alphabet, which is 13. And obviously it's the Mason's number, which is why M stands for Mason. So sometimes they'll refer to the number 13. It might be on a news article. It might be the day it comes out. It might even be the time. So sometimes they'll print it as 1313 or 1330 or even 1333. So sometimes they'll incorporate them numbers into days and times. Sometimes even mentioning how many people have been injured or how many hurt or how many people have lost their life. So that's why I say if you tend to go and look at a news article and you tend to find several of these numbers that I've just mentioned that are in there, that kind of gives you an inkling of who's behind what the event has happened, because they use numerology as a way of communication and a code to the people that understand this, whereas other people don't. So they only kind of go on and assume of what the information they're being told rather than decoding the numbers that actually explain a lot more. So I hope that kind of breaks it down and helps a bit. So, like I said, we're about to leave the snake year and go into the horse year. I'll just whiz back slightly to this last picture, which is actually a picture of the music rapper and UK artist H, spelled AITCH. As you can see, he's got his finger and thumb touching and making the 3 symbols either side, which is another way of gesturing 33. He's also sticking his tongue out. The reason this is probably more prevalent, and the reason I'm going to say it's kind of more coincides with the snake, is because this song was called 1989. And when you go back and have a look in the history with regards to animal energies, you'll find that 1989 was actually a snake year. The reference to the snake and serpent is also the symbolism and the gesture of sticking the tongue out, which is known as the all-mocking tongue, which you might have seen Jim Carrey do on Jimmy Kimmel's show back in 2014. So that's just an example in front of you of the other previous snake year. So here we see Jake Paul, the all-mocking tongue of what I've just said, and how it also relates to Jim Carrey. It's a gesture of imposing fear into your opponents in a psychological way rather than a physical way, as in the sense that the tongue wraps around the mind of the opponent. It's an intimidation tactic rather than a ritual, but it's basically a way of explaining that they know more than you than what's going on, so to speak. So where people said that this was rigged and there was a script, it's kind of mocking the script. If you'd notice Anthony Joshua in another previous fight, he did exactly the same with the tongue gesture. And it just seems very strange that Jake Paul's done the tongue gesture and the mocking tongue in the energy of the snake. And snakes are known for sticking their tongue out. So I've mentioned before how many of these celebrities play several different roles at the same time, or they're brought back to play different roles, whether it's over the years, hundreds of years, or even centuries. Another thing to mention as well is to do with J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is not even his real name. It's J.D. Bowman is his real name. And there's been quite a lot of similarities of people trying to compare this man to the widow of Charlie Kirk, who is Erica Kirk. And people have noticed, obviously, the similarity between the two. Now, there's been a few conspiracy theories flying around the internet where they're saying this could be the same person. Although Erica Kirk and J.D. Vance were seen both in the same vicinity, they're actually seen hugging each other on stage at one point. But it's not uncommon for people to play other roles of other people at the same time. This is how crazy it gets. So the comparison and the mention of J.D. Vance, of how he looked very similar to Erica Kirk, and the fact that J.D. Vance is not uncommon and not unfamiliar to wearing a wig or dressing up in drag, as you can see in front of you. Now, someone did actually go to the extent of running this through Grok, and what you can see on the screen in front of you is exactly the results that came back. Someone actually asked if they were related, and actually came back that they were actually the same person. How true that is, I don't know. Whether there is any kind of relation would probably be more feasible, should I say. But like I said, it's not uncommon for males to play female roles. Hence why they got Martin Lawrence to play Big Mama's House. Although I know it's a film, so's the stage, and so is life. Now, moving on to the topic of Freemasons in the police force in the UK, there was this topic come up where they were going to be transparent, because they said there was obviously a culture and a favour for a favour, so to speak, within the Society of Freemasons. One of the codes we know is obviously to cover your fellow Masons' crimes till they're passing, which is why the crimes of Jimmy Savile didn't come out till after his passing. I believe that the royal family will have some secrets come out this year after King Charles's passing. But they were basically trying to force members of the police force to become more transparent if they were members of Freemasonry. Now, strangely enough, the Freemasons have blocked this, and they've blocked it on religious grounds, although the Freemasons have always said that they're not a religious group and they're not based on religion. We obviously know otherwise, because the religion and the religious grounds that they've blocked it on follow the same God that the Freemasons do, which is why you can't become a Freemason unless you follow that religion already, because they won't have you, because they don't believe in a prophet such as the Prophet Muhammad or Jesus Christ. So for the Freemasons to block it on a religious ground seems very strange, considering they're not a religious group. Now, going back to the royal family and Prince Harry, like I said, King Charles is born in 1948, so he's born under rat energy, which is the enemy sign of the horse, which is this year. Prince William is born under the dog energy of the dragon, which was 2 years ago, so that would have been in 2024. Now, Harry is born under the same energy sign as his father, the rat, which is why I say things for Prince Harry are going to go bad this year as well. Now, the reason that I say that I reckon, well, it's very, very most probable, probably an 80 to 85% chance this will happen, that the passing of King Charles will happen this year, is because King Charles is born in a rat energy, the enemy sign of the horse, and Prince Harry is also born like his father under the rat energy and the enemy sign of the horse. Now, if we take historical events such as Kobe Bryant and also his daughter, with regards to the helicopter crash that took his life, and how we use what we call the death code in numerology. Now, the death code will give you an inkling of what year you will pass if you want to find out. And it goes on your children's enemy sign. So in the case of Kobe Bryant was actually born under horse energy, and so was his daughter. His daughter was also born under horse energy, and the enemy sign of that year was the rat. So it's in reverse to what it is this year. The last year year of the rat was, I believe it's 2000. It might have been 2014, or I definitely have to double check it. But basically, the year that Kobe Bryant had the helicopter crash was the year of the rat, and obviously he was born a horse. So going by the death code, which I said, the parent tends to pass in the child's enemy year. It just so happened that the enemy year of Kobe Bryant was also the enemy year of his daughter, who was also on the helicopter. So they both passed in their enemy years. And obviously Kobe Bryant's daughter was an enemy year the same as him. So he passed in an enemy year of his daughter, which is why I say King Charles will pass in an enemy year of his son, Prince Harry, the same as King Charles is also going to pass this year. There is actual speak and words before last year that Prince William doesn't actually want to take the throne, and it actually be passed to Harry, which would match up to a prediction by Nostradamus, who said that the next king that would come after King Charles, so to speak, it wouldn't be the king that you would think it would be, and that it actually gets passed to somebody else who will only stand in for even just a short period of time, until somebody else is then crowned, which I believe it would be George, the eldest son of Prince William, which would kind of pair up quite, exactly with regards to the numbers and the animal energies. So this was the latest one this week of showing worship to their god. This is Katie Price, who you might know, the ex-glamour model, also known as Jordan. She was caught doing a pose this week on social media. It just happens that the pose that she's posing is exactly the same pose as Baphomet. and also the same hand gestures. So the actual angle and direction of the hand symbols are exactly the same as Lucifer and Baphomet. Now turn our attention to the Venezuelan president and leader who was arrested by Donald Trump. I believe the president's wife was also arrested in Venezuela at the same time. That president's name was Maduro, wasn't it? Majaro. As long as I'm not getting mixed up with the weight loss jab here. But yeah, like I said, the first letter of his name, his surname is M. So that's the 13th letter of the alphabet. So that clearly shows you with regards to an introductory into Freemasonry there. It was also 36 years to the date that they indicted another leader, which is strange enough. And like many of these people, they're all part of the same club. So although they tell you they're leaders of different countries, they all belong to the same people and they all go through the same ritual. So the one on the top left-hand corner is the Venezuelan president that's just been arrested. So as you can see, it's exactly the same with the blindfold, the cord that goes around the middle waistband, and also his leg, the trouser leg is rolled up, which you can't see, it's just out of sight. So when they tell you all these people are against each other and they're all arresting each other, it's just literally a script that's being played out on the screen in front of you. With regards to how I say playing different roles, sometimes they bring these people back. Sometimes they might have more than one of them, but you'll tend to find that they'll play different roles. The one on the left-hand side is Saddam Hussein. The one on the right-hand side is the Venezuelan president that's just been arrested. Obviously, I'm not saying they're the same person, but what I am saying is they have people in certain roles that play certain roles. So although the character might pass away, the actual living being doesn't, and in fact gets put into a different position and a different role. So it kind of brings us to the end of the live stream. If there's any questions that anybody's got or like to add, then please feel free to drop them down in the chat section. I will try and get another live in for you at some point this week coming. Hopefully we'll be able to have a look at other people who are playing roles as well and see what other things come up for us with regards to numerology, and also try and do a breakdown and decipher of what celebrities need to kind of lay low from February the 16th this year when we go into a horse year. So those who are all born in a rat year, like I've just mentioned, Prince Harry. So it'll be people who are born in 1984. There'll be other ones that are more relevant. So I think it'll be 1996, it'll be 1997 it should be, the next one, and then so forth. So like I say, it goes every 12 years. So it'll go 1984, and then the next 12 years, and then the next 12 years, next 12 years. And that's how you'll work out which people were born in the rat year. So if there's someone that you obviously see come up in the news and they're in the headlines, it might be worth finding out what year they were born in and then cross-referencing with what animal they were born under. And if they were born under rat energy, then you know they're in trouble this year. So anyway, on that note, you've been absolutely awesome. I've been Mr. Freemason. Until next time, I'm out of here.